Welcome in. It's a brand new episode of the RSL Show. I am Alex. That is Josh. And joining us today is Mitch Rodriguez. Mitch, how you doing, man?
I am good. I am really good.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, I was out of the country for a little bit.
How was Japan?
Amazing. I want to go back so fast. Like, I want to go back tomorrow if I could. It's probably one of the coolest countries I've ever visited.
And you visited a lot of countries, so you can say that.
Yeah, I've been around the block.
Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well, man. Pretty well. Better after that interview we just did.
Oh, why you gotta spoil it like that? Later on, we'll have a special guest joining us, but first we're going to talk about Real Salt Lake taking on Atlanta United. 3 points in the bag for Real Salt Lake following a 5-goal performance from the Claret and Cobalt. Guys, how are we feeling after a 5-2 whooping of Atlanta United?
I'm feeling so good. You know, that first half it scared me. I didn't enjoy the first half at all. But the second half was a masterclass from Real Salt Lake. I loved seeing some adjustments from the coaching staff to make it a masterclass. Yeah, I mean, you can't be mad when you score 5 goals and 5 different goal scorers. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. Mitch?
Yeah, no, same way. The first goal was really fast. We got really excited real fast, and then the second goal against us hit. So it was 1-1, and then the first half kind of just not worked well for us. We saw it up, like, if you really looked at the game, you could see it. Certain plays were just not gelling right, and people were just not getting the balls where they wanted them to go. I don't know if it has to do with a little bit of fatigue because we played against Houston on Wednesday, but you know, those adjustments that got made during the second half really, really made a change.
Yeah, we looked oddly sloppy, right? A lot of giveaways, just bad passes, people being out of position. So, yeah, it just felt very disjointed to get started.
Yeah.
Quinton probably had his worst showing at right back. It wasn't a good night for him. And then you're right with the fatigue. Like, Anelli looked gassed, right? Anelli did not look like Anelli. So, yeah, those adjustments by bringing Oviedo in and then Palacio, who had himself a game, those adjustments were so necessary and great.
Yeah, but even Gomez didn't really look like he could find his feet. Like, he had a few times where he got up front and got into the attack, but he just also kind of seemed to struggle.
Yeah, and you know, Mastroeni kind of said in the postgame that they talked at halftime about how it felt like everyone was trying to do things individually and not as a team. I do buy that, but I wonder, you know, if you have one or two pieces out of the starting 11 not really gelling and firing, how much effect that had, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, these combination plays, we're not a very direct team like ball over the top, you know, one pass or a big switch, right? It's very intermingled, you know, through the middle of the park, through the wings. So if one piece is kind of off, you know, don't you feel like that kind of throws the whole momentum and feel of the game?
Yeah, no, you definitely could see it that it did. It just did. But yeah, no, it was an interesting game for sure. And I think I learned a lot about our team that game. Just seeing that, because you had Quinton starting as a right back, and then Hidalgo as a center back, and even as soon as they just switched, we were halfway through the first half, they start switching, where Quinton was more central defender, and then Hidalgo as a right back, and it already started to work a lot better. The ball was coming forward a lot better, and it opened up a lot more play that way.
Yeah, and the speed of play picked up an incredible amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
RSL, I think, bottom line, I think they really did struggle in that first half, kind of breaking through, because you look at that Atlanta side, and what did they do? They put, anytime Real Salt Lake was on the ball, you had 11 guys defending behind the ball. It was park the bus, and even after that draw, even after they came back to tie it with that Saba goal, it was just park the bus, let's put everybody behind defending and kind of hope that we can hold on to this 1-1 and let's walk out of here with a point, right?
Did you feel like even though they parked the bus, they did it by giving us a lot of space in between their lines? From my vantage point, it looked like we had nothing but space, and I think that also kind of threw us off, right? They weren't pressing us as soon as we got the ball. So I kind of felt like we were playing the style of, we're going to be pressed, so we have to play this ball quick, but the Atlanta guys, the defenders, would just sit there and wait for them to play that ball, and then there's a turnover. So I did notice that I could be the only one noticing this, but it felt like they gave us a weird amount of space, and that also kind of threw us off, even though they were parking the bus.
And even with that space, it doesn't feel like Rouse Lake was necessarily taking advantage of it until the second half, once those substitutions were made. And I have to give credit to Pablo because in this situation, the substitutions worked phenomenally, right? I was questioning taking out Anelli and bringing on Palacio, but I think Palacio had a really, really good match. I think Palacio, his ability to pass and get it out to the wings quickly was immense in exploiting that space that you're talking about, Josh.
Yeah, and credit to Palacio. He kind of had a coming out party for me, right? We've seen what he can do in the past. We've been nervous at times with him, but he was an anchor in that midfield, just like Ojeda and Anelli have been known to do.
He definitely started the season off rough, but I love more and more what I'm seeing from Nelson now. It seems like he actually is progressing, is getting back to kind of what we saw Nelson do towards the end of last season, right? And not the Nelson that we saw early on this year, which at times struggled. Yeah,
and I mean, having three really good central midfielders, like that's a pretty good problem to have. So I'm very happy to see it. I hope Anelli gets a good amount of rest because that was an off game for him. I'm not even going to go too hard on him, but it wasn't what we're used to seeing out of Anelli. So hopefully that was just a little blip, right, in his season. But yeah, heck of a job.
I will say Anelli, Ojeda, even Gomez, man, there are some miles on that legs at the moment.
Yeah,
and you can see. I think what's made the RSL attack really, really good this year is the ability for Andres to just kind of burst into space, get defenders on an island, take him on one, and create on the wing like that. But in that first half, we really didn't see that from Gomez, and I think Gomez has played a lot of minutes this year. Ojeda's played a lot of minutes this year, and Nelly's played a lot of minutes this year, and I think this is one of those games where we saw fatigue maybe set in a little bit early for Real Salt Lake, but at the end they did what they needed to do for the 5 goals.
I would argue that Gomez's first half had more to do with the delivery of the ball to Gomez. It wasn't great service for him. Like, let's be honest, right? So I think that was more of his issue in the first half because he had a fine second half.
In the 45th second, Diego Luna takes on a defender, crosses it in, is looking for Chicho, but out of nowhere, Matt Crooks is able to poke it in, put it into the back of the net, and early on, Real Salt Lake leads 1-0. Beautiful start, just overall from Real Salt Lake. Straight off the kickoff, you have possession, you're finding the spaces, and you catch Atlanta sleeping. Matt Crooks, are we finally seeing the floodgates open for Matty?
He got his first goal, and I think now we're going to see the best of Matt Crooks. Right now, he's broken that ice. Right, he's gotten past that hurdle. So hopefully, the confidence there and the form picks up from here. So I think so.
No, he definitely needed this goal after the Houston game. It's a good little confidence boost, and I really hope that it continues because I like Matt Crooks a lot.
Yeah, Mitch is a big Matt Crooks fan,
which a lot of people don't agree with me on it, but yeah, every player has his moments. I like what I see.
But are you against let's say a DP player taking Matt Crooks' spot?
Depends on who.
All right, we'll leave it at that, I guess.
30th minute, Daniel Rios and Sama play a good little 1-2. Sama puts one past Gavin Beavers. 30 minutes in, Rouse Lake gets 1-1. And I think up to this point, I can't say that Rouse Lake was the better side.
Atlanta, they were kind of knocking at the door. It was kind of a deserved goal at that point. We weren't playing well. They weren't playing great, but they were creating a little more than this at this point. And it was just really a tidy finish, right? It's not a goal you can be real mad at. Great finish by Saba. It's weird saying Saba, not Sava. But yeah, just a tidy finish. One that made me nervous, because old trap game Josh over here starts, on my left shoulder, starts freaking out. But yeah, it's 1-1. It's fine. It's RSL. It's this group of guys. I had confidence going forward.
And it's nice to finally see that we don't just hang our heads down. We continue to fight. We continue to try new things on the field. Because we're so diverse. This is the first time I'm looking at an RSL team that is so diverse, that can attack from the left, attack from the right, go through the middle, go over the top. We have so many attacking options now, which is awesome to see. And to see the team utilize it and try to be, and just not give up and actually try to score goals. Because we missed that many, many years.
And I think one of the storylines that gets lost in this match is obviously RSL scores 5, but it's 5 different players who find the back of the net in this one. And I love that. And I think that's something that's a little bit overlooked. I haven't really seen many people on the interwebs talking about it. And I think it's incredibly important for 5 different players to score a goal in a match.
100%.
Yeah, goals by committee is what you want.
But when you have a maestro like Diego Luna just bossing the midfield, it's amazing. It's I'm having so much fun watching RSL.
54th minute, off a corner, ball comes out. Brian Ojeda is chilling near the top of the 18, is able to pick it off with the help of Diego Luna, steals it off an Atlanta player, and then curls one to the far post, catches Brad Guzan, but just comes crashing off the post. Brian Ojeda looking dangerous early in that second half.
Dude, that ball looked like it was going in from where I was sitting. I was about to lose my mind, but unfortunately the post was there. But again, that's your center midfielder. That's your guy grinding, and he's creating opportunities. Again, goals by committee. When you have those guys creating opportunities and solid opportunities, it just means you're onto something, right?
And I think with just a little bit less wind on Saturday, that one probably goes in.
Yeah, and it's probably goal of the week.
Yes, absolutely. Had that snuck into that top corner, we are looking at a goal of the week candidate. But a couple minutes later, he makes up for it because a beautiful volley from Ojeda right in front of Brad Guzan. The ball comes off of Chicho Arango, I believe. It takes a weird deflection in front of the Atlanta defenders. Matt Crooks is there. Looks like he's going to poke it through, but then all of a sudden, Ojeda just kind of turns around, does a 180 with the ball, and volleys it past Brad Guzan to make it 2-1 Real Salt Lake. And it's such a nice goal.
Yeah, honestly, his touch to set up his shot was immaculate. You know what I mean? Just a beautiful, beautiful goal from Brian Ojeda. Again, your center midfielder's doing this.
the quality and the ability to be able to bring that ball in with a 180. Your back's turned to goal. You 180 the ball, and then you just volley it in. This to me is one of the more underrated goals of this game, because it's so the technique, man. The technique to have the ability to do what he did is fantastic.
100% a skill check, man.
Yep.
That's some stuff. If you had an and one, soccer mixtape,
yeah,
that's the kind of goal you're scoring.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a chef's kiss. Honestly, even his first goal against Houston was great, but this one, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this.
Big Ojeda fan here.
Scores the winner against Houston. Now next game goes back to back. Scores the 2-1, and then Brian Dunseth on the broadcast in the 67th minute calls it criminal defending, and I don't think that does it justice, because in the 67th minute, Diego Luna is standing over a ball off a free kick, goes back post, and who else is there? Completely unmarked, but Chicho Arango to head one into the back of the net and make it 3-1. Atlanta, bro. How can you leave Arango alone on a set piece?
Better question. Brooks Lennon, that was your guy.
It was Brooks's guy, and
What? Not enough's been said about Katranis' little kind of screen he set on Lennon. That was a big part of him getting so open. So maybe that has to do with it, but horrible defending from Lennon.
If you watch the replay, Josh is absolutely right. Katranis is kind of standing, 40 yards away from the box, runs up and pushes Lennon, not really pushes him, but just kind of takes the mark from Chicho to be Katranis and is there with Lennon. And then Chicho all of a sudden is just completely by himself at the back post for Luna to just float one in. And I don't know what's up with Real Salt in set pieces this season, but they have worked so many set pieces this year to perfection, and that's just another example of it.
I mean, we see them working on them at training, right?
Yeah, yep.
They're working on it. The form of Chicho on that header, though, right? Hands tucked, squared the ball. That's a picture you could hang in a museum, dude. The form on that header was so beautiful, pure striker. Gorgeous soccer from RSL. Gorgeous finish from Chicho.
I have nothing to add to that. It was just, it was great, man. Chicho's awesome. Like, I'm going to repeat myself so often, but we look so different from a year ago. Even with some of the same players. Those players from last year are even better this year. We see it with Julio, Gomez, even Chicho. I think even Chicho has been improving. Which him as a senior player, I would say he's a senior player, right? Him as a senior player, like you would not expect a senior player to improve as much as he does, but it just every single game, like Diego Luna just looks like a whole different player every single game. Every single game he does amazing work, and you just see the improvement. And that has been something that I haven't seen at RSL in a long time.
Alex, are you still worried about Chicho being in a slump?
No, that answered my question. He heard us talking about it, and he's like, you know what?
I think people kind of went too quick on that with a slump, because he's already scored more goals than most strikers we had so far.
I mean, he tied the club record, right?
But like to have a few games where you don't score, but he still gives assists. His work rate is so high on the field. I don't think you can call that a slump at all. So for people to call it a slump, like, oh, Chicho's in a slump, I totally disagreed with that right off the bat, because a slump to me is a player that cannot complete passes, cannot like really finish, or
have their head down
the whole game. Like, that is a slump for me. Just a player not being able to score 1 or 2 games is not a slump.
With that, goal number 17 on the year, Chicho Arango equalizes Alvaro Saborío's record for goals scored in a single season. 1 away from breaking that record, and we are still 10 match days away from playoffs.
Yeah, we're all right. And he's got Leagues Cup, he'll break it.
Yeah.
I have no doubt. Barring some kind of, knocking on wood here, injury, things like that. But yeah, he's fine.
He did mention in his post-game presser that he didn't think about it, but he did header the ball, obviously, with the stitches, or I guess, recovering from the stitches. And he said it did begin to hurt just a little bit, but he's always going to put himself in those situations to be able to get those kinds of headers, and he's not really going to think about it. But it did give him a little bit of pain, he said in the post-game presser.
I'm sure it stung a bit.
Even before the game, I was kind of worried about that too. I think I even said it to Josh. I'm like, I wonder if he's going to use his head as much as he normally does, because he always uses his head.
Even last game against Houston, there was a couple balls in the air that he was not afraid to go after.
Yeah. He's a warrior, man. He's
Absolutely
such a warrior. It's so fun. It's so fun to watch. I love every single second of RSL right now.
So it's the 67th minute. Chicho Arango makes it 3-1 for Real Salt Lake. At this point, Real Salt Lake is just dominating the game. The changes that Pablo made on the field, you can see it working out magically for Real Salt Lake. 10 minutes later in the 77th, Diego Luna comes to the near side to take a corner. Standing at the top of the 18 is none other than Alex Katranis, who just hits it first time, goes to the far post, and gets it past Brad Guzan. All of a sudden, it's 4-1 Real Salt Lake.
And a beautiful 4-1, man.
Yeah.
I was trying to think about this real hard the other day. Have we ever had an outside back score 3 goals in a year?
Not that I can remember, man.
We ever had an outside back score 3 goals total?
Not that I can remember, man.
Maybe Chris Wingert with a couple headers over 6-7 years. But dude, our left back has 3 goals this year, 2 of which were game winners.
Yes.
That's some insane production from a left back, dude.
He's Katranis, I think, has been one of the more important signings, not just of this past season, but I think just in general for Real Salt Lake. We've talked about it with Andy before about how Katranis is kind of taken, his opportunity and is probably the best left back we've probably seen come through Real Salt Lake.
Yeah. Herrera could have been that left back, but somehow he just stopped growing at RSL. We see it now at DC. He's doing amazing at DC, which makes me wish that he stayed at RSL, but somehow the growth of Herrera just didn't happen at RSL.
Well, and I think people forget that Aaron and Brody are both right backs who just so happen to be forced to play left back. It wasn't even their natural position to begin with. They just had to play there due to necessity. You look at, Chris Wingert, who is probably the most storied left back for Real Salt Lake. He has 3 goals in his entire time with Real.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Beltran didn't score many, right? DeMar Phillips wasn't scoring many. I mean, Robbie Russell, he did score a huge goal for RSL, but, we really haven't had a lot of outside backs that are memorable, and Katranis is really changing that right now.
Alex Katranis does a phenomenal job, makes it 4-1 for Real Salt Lake. A few moments later, though, literally 2 minutes later, in the 79th minute, Daniel Rios and Atlanta United are able to pull one back 4-2. But at this point, honestly, I felt like the game was done and dusted.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a kind of a crappy goal to give away, right? Because we have the run of play, we're dominating. You don't want to concede any more goals, but this goal happened. It was kind of inconsequential, right? Just kind of a happen chance. I don't know. It wasn't a very impressive goal. RSL could have done better, but we're cruising. Walk it off and keep pressing.
Bodie Hidalgo does lose his marker. And it goes back to just the same thing that we talk about every week at this point is we need our center backs.
Yeah, we need our center backs so badly, right? Bodie Hidalgo and Brian Oviedo, yes, have done a great job.
Yes.
But we need Justin Glad back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good to have Vera back. I will say that. Obviously, they couldn't go the whole game because he was out for 2+ weeks, getting his green card. Didn't go the full 90, but good to have him back. Good to get him, some minutes back into his feet. But we desperately need the Glad Vera partnership back for sure.
Yeah, especially hopefully for LAFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moving on now to the 82nd minute. It's the man that nobody and everybody can't seem to stop talking about. Diego Luna, who gets it on his right, puts it into the bottom corner, off his chest, volleys it into that bottom corner, and then all of a sudden it's 5-2 Real Salt Lake.
I love that he volleyed this one off the ground to give it that bounce to really make Brad Guzan's life difficult, right? That's such a smart play. Hit it off the ground, get yourself a bounce, get yourself a goal. Just beautiful, and another beautiful technical individual display by another RSL player, right? And of course it's Diego Luna, the man of the match. So yeah, 5 goals, dude. I'll take it.
3 assists from Diego and 1 goal from Diego in this one.
Can we get him snubbed off the Olympic team more often?
I'm okay if he never goes to the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think they deserve him at this point. Like, I remember first few games in the season, they were saying like, "Oh, the Olympic team is building the team around Diego. He's gonna be the center point of the Olympic team." And then this happens where he gets snubbed. But it's nice to see that his head doesn't go down. He stays positive. He's focused on RSL, and he has a banger of a game.
Before we do get deep into the Diego Luna talk and the snub, I want to go back to the fourth goal real quick with Alex Katranis, because who better to break down that goal than the man who scored it himself? Joining us now on the RSL Show is Real Salt Lake defender Alex Katranis here on the RSL Show. Alex, how are you doing? And thank you for taking the time to join us.
I'm good, of course. How are you guys?
Good, man. Good. Real quick, I want to ask you, first question right off the bat, man. Walk us through that goal that you scored against Atlanta off the set piece, right? Luna plays it to you right at the top of the box. You just hit it first time into that far top corner. What'd you see on that goal, man? And how'd you end up scoring that?
In this game, I was in the ball with Diego, but we changed because Brian Oviedo was in at that point of the game. So my position was outside of the box. So we was trying to find our positions, and I was waiting Diego to make the signal that we was working on the training to see what you're gonna do, but. Very clever for him. He saw that I was alone and I had the space, so he played the perfect ball. And I remember when the ball was traveling to me, I said that not with a lot of power. I need to curve the ball to the goal. The defender also touched it a little bit, so helps the way of the ball, and likely it was a goal.
It was incredible, man. It was incredible. So love the goal. Love
nice.
that our outside backs were scoring. So we're very happy to have you.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Alex. I like to ask any player that comes on with our show this question. How did you end up in Utah? Can you kind of tell us about your journey to coming to MLS and Real Salt Lake specifically?
Yeah, so I was for the preseason with my previous team and my Polish team, and my agent just one day called me and he was like, "We have an interesting from one team, is Real Salt Lake from MLS and stuff." So I was starting like looking for the team. Was these days when the team was playing playoffs against Houston. So I remember I was watching these 3 games. Yeah, it was not an easy job to get done, to be honest. So yeah, likely one day my agent called me and it's like everybody agreed, everything is good, so you can travel. Then I traveled for a medical. I traveled in Portugal to meet the players and the staff and the team. Then I went back for a couple of weeks. It was a lot of paperwork, like visa and stuff. And then finally, I came here.
Very cool.
So, what did it feel to finally, have all that completed and make your debut in league with Real Salt Lake? And just what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it was. I was expecting to be more faster here. As I said, a lot of paperwork and stuff, taking more time than the normal. It was very hard to sit in Greece and watching the team here playing, and I was so far and I couldn't help them and play with them. So yeah, finally when I remember when with my wife we arrived here and we passed the last control, I was like, yeah, finally.
We never really had a player that, like, you seem to adapt to playing with our team so easy and so fast. What is the magic behind that?
Yeah, there is no magic. I think very, very important role is your teammates and the staff and coaches, how they're going to welcome, how you're going to feel from the first moment. And when you feel that you are here like 2-3 years and it's not your first day or your second day, you feel more comfortable, you feel better with yourself, and you don't have in your mind other stuff. You just focus on your performance, on the game, everybody from the coaching staff make me to understand the game and how we want to play. So yeah, I think that's the key, and I'm very happy that I'm helping the team.
No, you've been absolutely great. Like since the first minute you played, you just seem like you fit into this team so seamlessly, which is awesome to see. Because we had people come in before, and it took them quite a bit to like warm up to the team. So to actually see this happen it's awesome.
Yeah, to be honest, I had the same in other teams. Like, it's not in all the teams that I went, I fit so well as here. To be honest, it's my first time like to fit so quickly. Yeah, it's normal. It's different town. You have other things on your mind, and when the team helps you to organize everything, I mean, it's very important if you have like your house fast enough, your car fast enough. You don't have to think about these things. When the team take care of this, and then it's just training, teammates, coaching staff, games.
Yeah. Have you how have you adapted to Utah so far? Because right now it's 105, which I know in Greece it doesn't get that hot, and especially in Poland it doesn't get that hot. But
in Greece is the same now, to be honest.
Oh, is it?
It's the same hot, yeah. Yeah, it was the first time in US in January for me and my wife. So we didn't know what to expect. But from the first moment when we came here, we liked so much the place, the people. Everyone in the team or outside of the team was very, very warm and welcoming. So makes you feel like a home. So it makes everything easier to adapt. And then I met a couple of Greek people. They had like a big Greek community that I didn't expect to be so many Greek people.
There's a big one, yeah.
Yeah, I met a lot of them. So yeah, it's nice.
We talk a lot about the incredible season that Real Salt Lake is having at the moment. Talk to us a little bit about just kind of the feeling inside the locker room. Talk to us a little bit about I guess just the team in general, and what do you think is really contributing to the success that Real Salt Lake is having this season?
Yeah, as you said, the magic word is at the moment. We achieve nothing. It's something that we know. It's something that the coach mentioned to us a lot of times. For example, if in the end of the year we didn't win anything, nobody gonna remember the season or what we did till July, for example. We know this. We are talking between the players in the dressing room about that we have to just keep doing what we are doing. We have to keep doing and we have to go our game in the next level, because the teams knows how we play. They have a lot of games. They analyze us. So yeah, we have to keep playing our football even better and better every game.
That's a great mindset to hear that you guys have. How difficult has it been to adjust to not having your center backs healthy or available to play? When you have Bodie Hidalgo and Brian Oviedo in at center back, what kind of adjustment do you guys have to go through, to make the game plan work?
Yeah, was a lot of injuries at the same time, is in the same position. Was something that we have to go through, especially the coaching staff. We are very lucky that we have players that they can fit there and they can play so good. Of course, when you have everybody healthy and you have more options for the first 11 on the bench, is making your job easier. But yeah, I think the key is that you have players that they are so intelligent and good players that they can fit in different positions and playing without the other team or someone from outside realize that we have injuries in this position.
Will we ever see you at center back?
If the coach wants, why not? Wherever is possible to help the team, for me, no problem.
Alex, what's it like playing and having a guy like Chicho Arango in the locker room? Just talk to us a little bit about, the type of person, the type of leader that Arango is for this team.
The people and the fans, they are seeing what is like 95 minutes. They are seeing the goals and the assists. Of course, it's something that helps the team, of course, help himself to have confidence. But the most important thing is to have this captain as a person in the locker room. when he sees things, he's talking, he's giving his advice that is so important for the rest of the group. And when you have a guy like Chicho in front, that you know that he's so good player and he's gonna make the right decision and the right play for the team, it gives so much confidence to all the group. For example, you know, as a left back, you're gonna give him the ball, he's gonna make the right play, you're gonna give him a cross. Most of the time, he's gonna score the goal. So everybody knows in this group that he's a great player, he's a great captain, he has the confidence that he has now. So yeah, it brings making sure that you have this guy in front and everything is going well in the game. Of course, it's something that we have, not the 11 guys that we're playing, but between all the group that we are trained every day and we are on the games. And I think that's the most important, that you are sure for your teammate. You are there and you're gonna fight for his back. But yeah, I think the most important thing is how Chicho is in the trainings and in the dressing room.
If I could, I'd like to kind of dive into your youth. What got you into soccer or football? How did you start out?
Breaking everything at home. Yeah. My parents told me, because I don't remember, that I was just from all my toys and games, I was just with one ball. I was just shooting around the home, so everything was kind of like a little bit of broken. So my parents was like, yeah, you need to go to academy, you need to go play football somehow. You need to put your energy there and not at home. So yeah, at the age of 4, I think I went to the academy in my town in Greece, named Volos, is my town. And then I grew up there till the age of 15. That I went to another academy in Athens, in Atromitos, and then there I became a professional football player. And yeah,
very cool.
Is there a specific moment where you kind of were either with the academy or just playing, where you kind of realized that, hey, I might have the potential to make a profession out of this, right? Is there a moment that kind of gave you that idea that, oh, I want to be a professional soccer player?
To be honest, I never said that to myself specific, but I had this inside of me, like growing up, watching football, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to play football. My parents was like, okay, you can be in the school also. You know, they was trying to help me. But yeah, then as I said, I went to Athens to this academy. I realized that I can be professional. I can play at that level. Likely, I became a professional playing the first game, and then the transfer came to go to France, and then you never look back. You just go for your dream.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
Growing up, I think I was looking more of my position of Marcelo at the Real Madrid. Yeah. He was incredible how he was in attack, helping his team and scoring and assist, and his talent. Of course, he was Brazilian with an amazing technique for a left back. So yeah, I remember it was the guy that I was searching on YouTube and watching videos of him.
Yeah, I see a little bit of Marcelo's game in you. So yeah, I can see that.
Trying.
Is everything you thought about becoming a professional? Is it? As a kid, you look up to soccer players, you're like, oh my God, that's something I really want to do. Do you feel like it is, hold on, how do I say
it's as cool as you thought it would be?
Is it as cool as you thought it will be?
It's 1,000,000% more difficult than what you expect and what you see from outside. Because as I said before, the people outside or the kids growing up, they're seeing very few moments of a football player or a football team. They don't know what is behind. They don't know the stories. They don't know these things. And I think that's the most difficult part that you have to go through. But I guess every job has some difficulties, and like if it's your dream and what you want to do, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. You just have to go for it 100%.
I got to ask. It's a very cliche question, but it kind of goes into Alex's question: Messi or Ronaldo?
Lionel Messi.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I think we all agree there. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't go wrong with that.
Well, both are incredible players, and you don't have to be blind to say that one is on the top and the other is like nothing, because maybe you prefer Messi, but the work that Ronaldo put on his game, on his body, on everything is just amazing. And doesn't matter who you prefer. It's just you are lucky that you saw them both in their prime and you just get things from them. It's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, the way I like to look at it is like Messi is a gift of God. Ronaldo kind of made himself the way he is. Like through hard work, Ronaldo became Ronaldo.
Yeah, and I mean, you can say that very, very few people maybe have this gift from God, but you can say that I can work like maybe as soon as close to Ronaldo's work, and you can see that if you work more than enough, maybe, and you see how many things this guy achieved. So it's giving motivation to everybody and every kid that he wants to become a player, that it's just work.
Yeah.
Real quick, a follow-up to that too. If you look at the beginning of the season, right, we were talking about how you arrived just a little bit late. The first game of the season, right out of the gate, Real Salt Lake plays against Lionel Messi. Were you a little disappointed to then miss that game, not being able to play against Messi?
Yeah, of course. First, I was disappointed that I missed the first game. The season starts and you're not there. My job was not to be in Greece and watching from my phone the game. My job was to be there. And of course, when you have the opportunity to play against these players like Lionel Messi, Suarez, Jordi Alba, Busquets, players that you saw in the prime Barcelona, and you dream to play against them, and maybe you never had this opportunity. Yeah, of course, I was disappointed, but it was a game that gives 3 points like every other game. So yeah, I will be the same, disappointed if it was another team also.
Well, let's just hope you get a chance to play him in MLS Cup final. Let's put that out there.
Yeah, I hope. Why not?
Ooh, fingers crossed.
We will try the best to be there.
Oh, we sure hope so. You're number 98. Is there a reason behind the number you picked for this team, or you just kind of picked whatever?
It's my year of birth, May 4th, 1998. Starts as a left back with the number 3, of course. But when you go to teams, it's difficult because normally someone else already has the number 3. So I said it's more like secure to have the 98. So I just keep that.
It's a good number.
Yeah, I like it.
There's not many around in MLS that had 98, so it stands out.
Yeah.
You've scored a couple of important goals for Real Salt Lake so far, right? The ones off the top of my head is that late winner against Vancouver, the late winner against Philadelphia. How do you have the opportunity to position yourself in those opportunities to be able to score important goals so quickly with this team?
Yeah, as a fullback in the like modern football, you need to be behind the pitch. You need to help your team when you attack. You are not anymore a defender. The left back and right back, especially now, how the teams play is not the defenders. When you have the ball, they don't have to stay back. A little bit more in our team from our side, because the style and the way that we are playing allows the left back to be very, very high on the pitch. From the first moment that I came, and as I said, the coaching staff tried to explain to me the way and the style we want to play. I realized that I need to be in the same line like wingers and number 9 to be close to the opponent box. For some shots like this of Vancouver or Philly, and I think I'm sure that the goal against Philly was after a set piece, and then the defender put the ball out, and I was there. So yeah, in these moments, as in the corner or against Atlanta, I'm around the box for this specific reason. So yeah, I enjoy to be so high on the pitch. I enjoy to be involved and help my teammates to to attack and scoring, of course, and giving assists, because as a left back, your job is like more to give assists than score, but both makes everyone happy. So
Yeah, we love it.
What do you like better? What is a better feeling to you, assist or a goal?
yeah, of course, goal is a goal. Is different. It's different emotion, different feeling. I had this conversation with my wife a couple of days ago. She asked me the same question. And I was like, because I was growing up, my job was like, you have to assist. You are left back. You need to cross. You need to give the right pass. For me, I can say it's like almost the same feeling. Yeah, goal is special. It's different, especially when it's the winner and you give your team the 3 points. But no problem. Just keep going with an assist.
I've got one more question for you. Kind of just tell us what you like to do when you're not on the soccer field or you're not training. What does Alex Katranis like to do to relax and unwind and kill some time?
Being at home, playing a little bit of video games, on my laptop or FIFA, on my PlayStation, and then find a nice maybe restaurant. I go with my wife, like spend some time to have a dinner. Sometimes a cinema, like easy stuff. Yeah. Sometimes we just we're taking the car and just going around the neighborhood and just exploring Utah. You're in a new place, so it's good to see some things that you didn't have the opportunity.
Very cool. What's your favorite restaurant so far?
To be honest, I don't have a favorite one. I tried a couple of different. I like was one Italian. One day in our dressing room after a game, we had the Greek food. It was very, very nice. A Mexican one. So yeah, I like food, so I can't complain.
Alex, real quick, but last one's for me before we let you go, man. Obviously, the Euro's coming up here this weekend. Who do you got, Spain or England?
I think Spain. So far, they play the best football in Euro. Of course, you cannot underestimate England with the players that they have. This is an amazing squad, and you never know because it's a final. But I think Spain, from the first game till the semi-final, they had a very, very good performance. They have a very good players, young players. I hope it will be a game, with the goals and not a boring game like 0-0 and going to penalties or something like that. But I give my credit to Spain.
Spain broke my heart too many times. I'm from the Netherlands, so 2010, and then last game yesterday was horrible. So I hope nobody wins tomorrow or Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Alex, what are your goals, I guess, not only for this season, but I guess just for your overall time with Real Salt Lake?
Yeah, of course. In the moment that we are now, and we know what we are able to do and where we are on the table, it will be a lie if I don't say that we want to win a trophy or trophies. Everybody wants this in this locker room. We will go for it 100%. We will do our best. And I just want to grow with the team, helping the team from like my point and as much as I can to achieve a lot of things. And I want to be like every year better and better. I don't want this year Real Salt Lake had a very good season, but the next one was not the same or something happened. We need to be there. We need to be on the top. We need to be consistent in our job. So yeah, that's our goal, to be there.
And any last message you want to give to the fans that are listening?
Oh, the fans are amazing. I enjoy so much playing in our home. They are helping us so much. Just we want them to be there in every game. We will try our 100% and even more to make them happy. It's the best feeling to see the fans walking outside of the stadium after a game and they are smiling and they are happy because we won. And we're gonna do everything we can to make them as happy as possible, and why not, as I said, to bring a trophy in Utah.
Real Salt Lake defender Alex Katranis again joining us here on the RSL Show. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time, and
Thank you
good
so
luck.
much.
Good luck on Saturday against Portland, man.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We
Have a great
appreciate
day.
it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
All right, so there you go. Alex Katranis joining us here on the RSL Show. Good interview.
It was a great interview. Love how open he was. I always enjoy a player that doesn't feel like they're overly media trained, right? Like giving you the most generic and boring answer. So I really enjoyed that interview, and I was glad he could jump in and talk to us.
Yeah, no, great guy. And I'm happy to have him at RSL. Hope he never leaves.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I'm super stoked that he is a member of the squad. He's such a cool dude, such a nice guy, and I'm happy that we were able to have him on.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that.
And it's always nice to hear players say, like, I love playing at home in front of these fans. Because the stadium has felt a lot different.
Oh, it has a vibe this year that it's been lacking.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, I've been to some stadiums and seen games, but it takes a lot for me to get goosebumps at the stadium. But there's moments at RSL that I'm kind of like, ooh, get a little,
That was fun.
get a little shiver.
A little electric in
I'm like,
here.
ooh,
Yeah.
that feels good.
And me and Josh talked about this couple shows ago, but we talked about the mentality of the team, and I think he exemplifies that perfectly, right? You haven't won anything. There's still so much season to be had, and seems like he just has his head down and he's working and he enjoys it, man. It looks like he really enjoys what he's doing out there. So again, just happy to have a guy like Katranis on this team.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's enjoying Salt Lake City, which is always a worry, right? When players come in, you don't need another Savarino moment. So I'm happy to hear that he's enjoying and embracing Salt Lake City.
You have to. I think as a player, if you go to a city and you absolutely do not like the city, it's hard. It's hard to perform. Like, it's just not fun.
And it's good to hear that we have a good Greek community here. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's massive, dude. We have
Yeah, I
Greek
didn't know that.
festivals and everything. Yeah. And if you go to Josh's house, you might have a Greek Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Greek Easter.
Greek
we have it every
Easter.
year.
Yeah.
Sounds like he loves it here. So super stoked again to just have him on and be able to catch up and chat with us and kind of break down what's going on inside Real Salt Lake. Going back now to RSL news, the biggest news, right, of the week. We were just talking about it. Diego Luna being snubbed and left off the Olympic roster. Did get the opportunity to be called up as an alternate, and he decided to turn it down.
I don't blame him one bit.
No. If you're
don't
not
either.
the first pick, why, no.
Yes, being an alternate would probably be good and would probably be fun, but you're just that. You're an alternate. You're just training. You're not really playing. You're not getting game time. So why would you give up? Exactly. Why would you give up the hot streak that you're on right now with Real Salt Lake to go be an alternate for the Olympic team?
And hope Mihalovic gets hurt, right?
Right.
Like, what's the point? There's no point. And the knuckleheads out there saying that this is bad for his career and he's never going to get called into the national team again because of it. Dude, go touch some grass, right?
Say his name.
Casey Keller, Ali Krieger. I'm trying to think of that panel that was on.
Sebastian Salazar.
Yes.
Eric
Who
Gomez?
was on that panel, yeah. All idiots, man.
Why do you guys think he got snubbed? Because
I know the coach has a relationship with Mihalovic. I don't know.
Is it all like
I truly think that's it, man.
really?
Yeah.
Because that's disgusting, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
you should pick the best players you can pick, no matter if you know their mom or grandma.
Well, okay, this is the most annoying part. Mihalovic is an overage player.
Yes.
So you're bringing in a guy that isn't a U23, as your overage player that could be playing for a U23 that's absolutely killing it. If he was that good of a player, if Mihalovic was that good of a player, why isn't he getting time with the senior team, right?
That's true.
He gets a little bit, but not enough. But I don't know. It just feels gross. It feels criminal, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Look, usually I have a lot of respect for Sebastian and Herc's takes. Usually I agree with a lot of what they, say, and a lot of what they put out. But for them to insinuate that, he had a bad attitude, and that's what ultimately left him off the roster. I think that's just poor from a national coverage, from a national media coverage that isn't really paying attention to Diego Luna.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It shows you that they're not really paying attention to what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right. Even watch Real Salt Lake social media posts. Right. Diego is happy. He's positive. Right. He's putting in performances. If he was this negative, horrible attitude guy, I don't think we'd be seeing that, and I don't think we'd be seeing people embrace him like they have.
Absolutely.
And then for them to have the gall to say, "Well, I was an alternate, and it made my career so much better." Great, that's great for you, right? But what situation were you in when you were an alternate? Was your team fighting for first place in the West? Right? Was your team on a tear, or were you just the guy on the bench that got an opportunity to go sit at the Olympics and hope someone got hurt? It's absurd to me, dude. I have been that mad, but that's some of the maddest I've been recently, watching some guys behind microphones like us, but on TV. Like it's just ridiculous. And, there's even some local people that have the same feeling apparently. So go touch some grass.
I never heard anything been said bad about Diego at RSL. Everybody I talk to is like, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's very friendly, great in the dressing room. So to hear them say that, it just doesn't make sense to me.
At the end of the day, it sucks. I would have loved to see Diego go to the Olympics and absolutely tear it up, because I think he would have had a good Olympic campaign, especially in the form that he's in. But for us, it's good news, man.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm not mad
yes.
that we're not going to miss him for a couple weeks.
You just had a bunch of teams who just missed out a lot of players due to international call-ups for Copa America, for the Euros. Now there's a lot of teams who are going to be missing players for this Olympics, right? And I think Real Salt Lake has had the unfortunate luxury of being able to hold on to their players during the summer stretch, and this important stretch of Major League Soccer.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. It sucks for them, right? But it's good for us as a team.
Absolutely.
So it's a rock and a hard place, right? So all we can do is support them, with the club and make sure they feel that love, because, I think there's really a handful of guys on this roster that deserve to be, called up at one of those tournaments, right?
Ojeda should have been at Paraguay.
100%. There's no doubt in my mind. That one's just as criminal in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's good for us, though, because obviously he has 2 goals in 2 games for us. And that would not have been the case if he had been called up to go represent Paraguay.
Yeah, and honestly, I hope, when we play Colorado next Saturday with Mihalovic gone, he'll be gone by then, yeah?
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, I hope Luna puts in 5. You know what I mean?
That would be amazing.
So continue to show them what they missed out on.
Just the whole Luna situation, I think, has been very poorly handled by the media. In just the reporting, just the, not really having the good amount of insight to accurately talk about Luna and being snubbed.
Yeah, it just feels like they're going for rage clicks, right? Or to try to be different, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, we're
all guilty, but this instance is so unwarranted, and it's just gross.
You know what I do think is warranted? Greg Berhalter no longer being a part of the United States men's national team.
Dude, thank the Lord. That guy, as we've all discussed, should never have been brought back the first time.
Yes.
It's just a monumental waste of time for the U.S. Soccer Federation. Good riddance, man. Like, I've heard he's going to Chicago now. whatever, have fun. I'm glad he's gone. The drama between him and the players, it was all just so weird, right?
Yeah, that was weird. I just liked his shoes, man. He has a great shoe
He
collection.
did have a great shoe game. I'll give him props on that.
That's it. That's all he had.
Are we on the Cherundolo train to replace him?
I mean, it would be cool because it would hurt LAFC, but at the same time, hasn't he lost 3 finals with LAFC?
Yeah, the last 3.
So can he? The question is, can he get a team to perform in a big game? That's the question I have. So I don't know. I don't know if he's my first choice.
I think my first choice is Mike Petke, but that's just me.
Oh, I'll take Freddie Juarez.
I'll give the Federation credit for approaching Jurgen Klopp. Right, it was reported earlier this morning by The Athletic that the Federation did approach Jurgen, and Jurgen said no. So I give him credit for approaching Jurgen.
Yeah, and it's something he could be interested in later.
Sure,
but I think he genuinely wants some time off.
Yeah. Oh no, he does.
Yeah. So I wouldn't completely close the book on that. Maybe after the World Cup, he's had some time off. We just got spanked again at home. Maybe he comes then.
I think he'll pick Germany over the U.S. I think he'll become the national coach for Germany before he'll come to the U.S.
That would also be pretty cool. I just, as someone that doesn't really like Liverpool, I have a lot of respect and admiration for Klopp. I really do. So take that for what it is.
I do think that a hire is whoever they hire is going to be. It's going to be absolutely critical for this national team and this pool specifically, because we are less than 700 days away from 2026.
Yeah, like a year and a half
from the World Cup. And if you don't get the right guy, you've basically kind of wasted this generation of talent.
Yeah, and this is kind of a golden generation for the U.S. I know it's an early golden generation, right? We have better players that are going to come along, but it's a good group of players that just really haven't showed us anything. We've seen glimpses, right? A lot of good stuff against Mexico, but can we do it against the Netherlands, right? Can we do it against Brazil?
Looking back at the other results first around the rest of Major League Soccer, Montreal with a 1-1 draw over Vancouver. Columbus with a 4-0 win over Toronto. News this morning out of Toronto is that Bill Manning no longer the GM and president of Toronto FC. Cincinnati putting the hammer down on Inter Miami 6-1. Sergio Busquets sent off for 2 yellow cards in a span of 20 seconds about halfway through the second half, but by then it was already 4-1 for Cincinnati.
Hey, that referee wasn't taking any of this I'm Sergio Busquets nonsense, was he?
Oh, no, he was not.
I love to see it. I love to see it. So I'm glad Cincinnati worked him, honestly.
Obviously, this was the most anticipated game of the weekend around Major League Soccer. And for Cincinnati to just go out there and absolute put the hammer down, love it.
Miami's the new, Yankees. They're the new Lakers or whatever. They're teams you like to see lose.
Yeah.
So when they get hammered by another good side, it feels good. It means the universe is okay for a little bit longer.
It's weird when your 2 superstars are not there, right?
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
They've been winning without them up until this point.
Now and then, yeah.
Orlando with a 5-0 win over DC United. Philadelphia draws 0-0 to the New York Red Bulls. Real Lake with a 5-2 win over Atlanta United. Austin FC with a 2-1 win over New York City FC. And then the Seattle Sounders beating New England 2-0. San Jose with a 1-0 win over Chicago. Sporting KC with a 3-2 win over Dallas. All of a sudden, Kansas is stringing through some results.
I mean, it's their way, right?
No.
Suck forever and then pull together some results. Hopefully they don't sneak into the playoffs, but I guess good for them. But they still suck.
4-1 win over.
I hate them, dude. I hate
Jones will
them.
never say anything good about Kansas City.
Never.
Colorado with a 4-1 win over St. Louis City. The LA Galaxy with a 2-1 win over Minnesota. RSL's next opponent in the Portland Timbers beating Nashville 4-1. And the Houston Dynamo and LAFC game postponed due to weather. that one will be made up on another day. So let's talk about Portland. What are we anticipating from this Portland game this weekend?
It's going to be a harder match than it should be, I think, right? I don't think Portland, yes, they put together some results. Yes, they're a dangerous side. I think it'll be a bit of a grind, but I do think we should be able to pull a result up in Portland.
As long as I'm not in that stadium, there should be a win. Every Portland game I've been to where they play RSL, we got hammered. So as long as
scientific from Mitch.
As long as I'm not in the Pacific Northwest, we should be good.
Yeah, their defense is shaky, right? They are a high flying attack, similar to ours, not as good, but similar. I think if we have a healthy Justin Glad and a Brian Vera, we should be able to take care of business. But again, this could be a game that sneaks up on us. But out of the next 3, this is a very important 3 points for us to pick up, because the next 2 games are going to be quite difficult. So, let's go in there with that mentality. We need to at least get these 3 before the really, really tough games ahead.
Next game could pretty much win you or lose you the Western Conference. I guess the number 1 spot in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, outside of a dip in form, right? Like RSL or LAFC going on a losing streak. If we pick up another 3 points on them, that's 6 points we have on them from beating them twice in a year. So valuable. I think that's probably the one circled right on the calendar. I imagine we might see a little bit of lineup rotation on Saturday just to be super fresh for Wednesday. Because I mean, Wednesday, Saturday, those are the 2 tough games in the Western Conference that are kind of clogging up the top. So I'd probably expect to see a little bit of rotation in Portland.
I do think everybody's calendar has the 17th circled, because that match against LAFC is going to be immense and it's going to be huge. But we can't overlook Portland.
Right, exactly. And we can't overlook Colorado. It's a huge week for RSL.
And it's all away. And I think that's what makes it even more harder, is each game is on the road. You're not...
That's also good for us.
Yeah, I know. Don't get me wrong. Rouse Lake has been much, 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 much better on the road since Pablo has taken over. But they're still good sides. And in places, specifically Portland and BMO Stadium, whatever they're calling it now, those are places you don't win.
Yeah, they're hard places to win, right? The atmosphere is great. Home field advantage is real.
Yeah. And in Portland's case, game. Turf.
Yeah. Hate turf, man. Grow some grass.
Which is crazy because it rains so much in Portland.
Right. You can grow some grass up there, I promise.
Be able to get the best grass. Everything grows in Portland.
This is without a doubt the toughest stretch of that Real Lake will have all season.
I agree, 100%.
It will definitely mentally challenge the boys.
Absolutely.
And this is the stretch leading into Leagues Cup, right? So you got to get it done now and not go into Leagues Cup in like a little bit of a slump, right? Yeah. You got to go get some points in Portland. You got to get at least a draw at LA. Then you got to go to Colorado and wrap up the Rocky Mountain Cup, right? Bring that home, bring those 3 points home. Because losing the Rocky Mountain Cup and then having to go straight into Leagues Cup and not, you drop 3 points to your rival, lose the fan-created cup, and then you don't see MLS play for another month. Like, that's scary.
I'm going to ask a really tough question.
I'll give you a tough answer.
Realistically speaking, there's 9 points on the table in this stretch.
7.
Mitch?
I was going to say 7, probably. 7. I'm going to say 8.
Yeah, how are we going to get there, Mitch?
The math is not mathing.
No. No, definitely. No, 7 for sure. Yeah.
7 I'd be comfortable with, right? You get 3 in Portland. I'm just saying a draw in LAFC. I think we can beat LAFC again. I really do.
I think
but
so.
Then you really got to get those 3 against Colorado because I hate them, right? So I'm going to go with 7 and give us a little bit of leeway there on LAFC. Portland, Colorado losses are unacceptable to me with how good this team is.
I think just overall, it is, when we've had this conversation before, Josh, is this where this is the business end of the season, man. This is do or die for Real Salt Lake at this point. If Real Salt Lake can continue to consistently get those points, they are going to be set up perfectly for a top 3 spot in the West.
Yeah, I'll take a top 3 spot all day long. Give me that home field advantage, right? Finishing first in the West would be sick. Don't get me wrong, but let's lock up home field advantage first.
But the second you start dipping, you can see yourself tumble pretty far down that table.
Right, and I'm saying our dip is like losing a match.
Yeah,
that's our dip, right? The bar is that high this year that we can afford maybe one loss, and even that is pushing it. I don't even think we can afford a loss at this point.
No, and I'm right there with you, man. I don't think you can afford a loss, especially if the goal is to finish first. If the goal is to finish first, you cannot lose.
Yep. And that's a weird amount of pressure, right? I even feel that pressure, and I'm a fan. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they have.
I kind of got a feeling that we're going to be okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Because
but
if we look at how the season has been going, like, we just do not give up. We just don't give up on the field. So we might LAFC is going to be a hard game, but I honestly think we'll be fine. I'm bringing the positivity,
Someone's got it.
I went to Japan, went to Buddhist temples, Shinto shrines. I got the energy now.
All right.
I brought back the good energy. I'm all about. I'm putting it on RSL, so we should be good.
Transfer window opens next week. We are still waiting and still hoping that Real Salt Lake will be active for the transfer window. Other teams have already announced their signings, right? Houston just signed another DP. I can't remember who else off the top of my head, but there are moves being made, and other teams in the Western Conference are boosting up.
Yeah, and hopefully we're right there with them. We'll find out, won't we?
It'll be nice. It would definitely be nice to bring in some new people, but it being so late in the season, how soon are they gonna adapt to our playing style?
Yeah, I'm really just hoping we get another a young DP at the 10. They can come off the bench and do some good, right? I don't expect him to start the rest of this year, but it would be nice to have some more attacking depth for me.
Any players you would like to see go?
Yes.
Names?
I'm going to say no.
No, you want to keep everybody here for now?
Don't mess with the chemistry right now.
Well, the guys I'm saying yes to are not playing, so. Like Eric Holt.
Oh, yeah.
Fair. All right, fair.
Yeah. But out of like the 18-man roster, no. I think you keep it all good. You bring in some help, make them feel good, and then we just keep on keeping on.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
Come hang out on Saturday at the KSL Sports Bash. We'll be there with Nick Raimondo, doing something. Some kind of panel. I don't have a lot more than that at this moment, but we'll be there hanging out and answering some questions with Nick Raimondo. So if you're bored on Saturday, come check it out. It's at the America First Expo Center or
Mount America,
whatever bank it is.
Mount America.
Very cool.
Josh will be there with Nick Raimondo at 11 a.m. on Saturday. He'll be moderating that panel with Nick, right?
Yep.
And then come by, say hi to the RSL show. I'll be there with Jake Hatch and the KSL Sports Zone. So stop by, say hi to both of us. If you guys head out there, go say hi to Nick. Go ask Nick Raimondo, the legend, a couple of questions and get some cool photos with Nick. And Josh.
I might be there too.
And Mitch. Get pictures with Mitch.
No.
He loves it.
No.
He loves it.
Not at all.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here on another edition of the RSL Show. Make sure to go follow, subscribe, go do whatever you got to do to follow us for the best RSL news and the best RSL content here on the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network.